Hello and welcome to another live walkthrough. Today we're going to be looking at Elementary 5.1.4. This is the April release for 2020, announced on May 1st. I'm a couple of weeks behind with this one because really I've only just this minute found out about this release. How I missed that announcement, I don't know. Anyway, one thing I've been reading up on about this this release, and I'm very excited about, is the fact that they've actually now managed to fix the issues they were having within screen timings and the parental controls, which is something that I've been asked quite often about. So we're going to take a look at that today. I have here now pre-installed, already loaded up on the system here, is my local install of Elementary OS 5.1. But in order for me to really demonstrate to you today the actual functionality of the parental controls, I'm going to need to do that in a virtual machine, because obviously I need to be logging out, I need to be rebooting. Obviously I'm live streaming and recording, so therefore I can't do that within the live environment. So I have already pre-installed here the Elementary OS in a virtual machine. So let's just see if we can get this fired up and full screened. We're running at 1024 by 768 resolution at this moment. Once I get logged into the system, I will be able to rectify that quite quickly. So the first thing I am going to do after I've accepted all of the new user wizard here, location services, yes. Night lights, no. We'll do some temporary file and trashed file automatic deletion. That happens every 30 days, but you can change those settings, and you can also turn them on and off whenever you choose. And then the AppCenter is ready to go, so we can get started now. So the first thing that I'm going to do is open up a terminal, so that's Super T, or the window key and T on your keyboard, and I am just going to load up xrandr and see if my resolution is listed here. So I'm looking for 1920 by 1080, and here we can see there is one available to me at 60 Hertz. So I'm going to enable that now by typing xrandr space -s space 1920 by 1080, enter. The screen then refreshes and we now are full screen. Let me just bring up the terminal window a couple of notches on the font size there for you so you can see that. There we go. So before I begin, let's just check for updates. This is a complete new installation within this virtual window, so let's now see what updates are available by doing sudo apt update. Type in the password. Now earlier on today when I did, there we go, the ting says it's got 3 updates. Earlier on today when I did an update on my local hardware, it said I had 44 packages to upgrade. So this one here is saying I have 28 to update. So let's just do that first of all before we go any further, just to make sure that we are completely up to date. So sudo apt upgrade. And it looks like we need to do an update to the AppCenter, the app stream data within Pantheon. It's going to update the Pantheon icons, give us some updates to the HIDPI, some updated theming, and do some updates around the Pulse audio drivers, the Bluetooth drivers, and give us an update via the new Linux firmware options as well. So do we want to upgrade this? Yes, we do. Not sure how long this will take, but most of it is drivers, so it shouldn't take too long. Now it's updating the theming. Now it's on the Pulse audio side and updating the Linux firmware. Nearly there. And once this is done, we will just check what firmware we're on and what our memory usage is like. At the moment, I'm looking at my process chart here, and I can see that the CPU is chugging along quite nicely. Here we go. And we're done. Okay, let's just clear that window. And let's just take a look at the release. And we are on elementary 5.1.4 here. And that's all good. So let's just do the uname-r to see which kernel we're on. We're on 5.3.0-51, which is the latest kernel within the 1804 branch of Ubuntu. Yes, I did say 1804. So I just need to point out right now that this elementary release is not a release on the LTS build. Currently this is running off of 18.04.4. I'm told that the 2004 build of elementary is coming, and most probably will be within version 6. So we'll just await that one there. So currently we're running on the 5.3 kernel. Let's first of all install NeoFetch to get a bit more detail on memory usage. Oops, sorry, I forgot install. That's better. So sudo apt install NeoFetch. That's done. Just clear that window. Launch NeoFetch. And we can see here through this virtual window with nothing running whatsoever, we're currently running at 716 megabytes out of my 4 gigs that I gave it. So that's not too bad at all. Nice start. And the virtual machine is here running for half an hour now. Very good start. Okay, so we've just updated the install. Now let's take a look at some of the new features contained within. So let's now have a quick look at let's just give me a second. Just minimize this and bring back my browser now. Bring my browser in, there we go. Okay, let's go full screen with that one. So let's just take a look at Elementary's announcement here and what they're saying is available in this update. So we've got an update to Parental Controls. This is the screen time and limits. This came about through some work that they did recently at the Metered Data and Parental Controls Hackfest. Yeah, that's very good. So they've started to overhaul the parental controls. Why? Because it's what people are asking for and is what is missing bit of security within their current distribution. So they need to resolve this quite quickly. Parental controls, I've noticed in that the issue may well have been within the kernel itself. I do not know. I will say that I've experienced the same issues when trying out Linux Mint 19.3 recently. So hopefully they've got around this issue and probably found something within the 2004 release that might have overcome this, but we will see. So taking a look here, so Parental Controls now gives us the accessibility to be able to assign screen time limits to user accounts. So your children here can obviously, if you've got a children account here, you can set them up as standard users and give them specified times of which they can actually log in and use the system. In my case, generally I don't need to do that, but obviously if you've got younger children, then it's a very good tool to use. Besides that, you can also now, through the Applications tab, now specify what applications they have got access to be able to run. And I'll show you in a moment. There's still times when you can actually, even though you've told an application not to launch within the Parental Controls area under that particular account, I've noticed occasionally can still load the application itself, but when they can't execute a command. So I'll show you in a moment me blocking the AppCenter, for example. So you can't then actually fully lock down the AppCenter, but you can lock it down in the fact that they can actually search for an application, but they can't install anything. They have to be a system administrator to do that. So I'm very pleased to see that. We're going to run also the opportunity to test out a couple of applications. So for example, let's see if I install Chrome and I just limit that accessibility there so that they can only access it between a certain time or can't launch it altogether. So we'll give that a go. Besides that, there now has been an update to the Applications menu. So this now handles browsing, searching for and launching both apps and app actions. This month we've released a major update that greatly improves its responsiveness and fluidity on trackpads, and it makes it easily usable on touchscreens as well. We've also updated the category view to show apps in a scrollable list instead of a grid, better supporting a classic menu workflow that some users have been asking for. So in some distributions within the GNOME desktop environment, I think this is what is known as a simple menu. So currently right now, if I go and click onto the applications bar here, I am not looking at a categorized view of this. So in order to do that, I have to then click this button here. So at the moment, I'm currently looking at grid view, but I want to be able to see it by category. And as you can see, as I'm hovering over this right now, there are actually some key bindings associated to those. So for example, if I wanted to switch between grid and category, I can do a key binding of Control 1 and Control 2. So right now, I'm going to just test that out. So Control 2 switches me now to the categorized view. Control 1 switches me back to grid view. So now if I click into Office, for example, I don't have any Office applications installed. On Internet, I've already preloaded Opera. That came down as a Snap application, so I've already pre-installed Snap on here. By the way, you're looking at my local install, not the virtual machine at the moment. And then under Graphics, we've got the standard Photos application. Accessories, you've got your calculator and your screenshot tool. Sound and video, I'm currently recording this stream and video in OBS, so obviously I've already pre-installed OBS on here. You've got your music player, your camera and your video player. Under System Tools, you've got your AppCenter, Files, Multitask View. My NVIDIA card drivers have already pre-installed, so I've managed to get the NVIDIA X server settings also installed there. System settings, we'll be seeing quite a lot of that through this demonstration today. And we've got our terminal, and at the moment obviously I've got Virtual Machine Manager running because obviously that's what I'm going to show you what the distribution looks like in a virtual way. So yeah, this is my live view. So that's the some of the grand updates coming out of this release. There have been some minor updates to the system settings, which enables you to now dig a bit deeper into some of the settings within the distribution itself. There's a new dock view. So many people I speak to that use Elementary, obviously they either like the size of the dock or they want to make it smaller or larger. Now, previously the only real way to do that is to download the Tweaks tool and do it via there. But one good thing that I've seen in this 5.1.4 release is I think you don't actually need to download the Tweaks tool. Depends on how you want to use it. Do you want to customize it in a way so that you can use dark mode, for example, or maybe change the icon set, or maybe change the look and feel a bit more? Well, for that you will need Elementary tweaks. I think personally, out of the box, this is a really good distribution. This release is definitely proving its greatness this time round, and it's getting better and better with each release that I'm seeing. And this is a great introduction. So currently right now, if I hover over my dock, I am looking at their standard size, which is medium, but obviously I can make my icons and dock a lot smaller if I want to, or for the vision impaired out there, you can make it slightly larger as well. So I don't need to do any settings at the moment here, but remember, this is the plank theme. This is the plank dock and theme. So in order to change any settings within plank, you hover over your dock, you press and hold down your control key, do a right click on your mouse, and then you can load up the preferences from here. That's the normal way of doing it. Here I can obviously change the icon size, but the easiest way to do it, quite simply, is through the system settings. So let's just quickly demonstrate that. And here we have the desktop view. And under desktop, you can obviously change your wallpapers. I really love this C wallpaper, so I'm just going to change it to that. So that way I can nicely identify what's my local install over my my virtual install. Appearance, you've got your window animations and your panel translucency. I leave those set like that by default. Under dock, here we go. So if I now look at this right now, I'm currently in medium view. If I click on this button here and then scroll over here, you can now see that my icons have now got larger. So that I think is very good if you only have a few icons within that dock. And obviously if you've got lots, you can make it smaller. So that's not too intrusive, but because I've got it set to auto hide and not interfere with my full screen view, then that to me at the moment is not the ideal setting for me. So I'm going to stick with medium. And under hot corners, we can specify here, for example, top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left. Any shortcuts you want to be able to launch into applications, etc. So for example, this bottom right hand corner here, I might want to set it so that it shows the application menu. So if I did that, for example, then with any luck, there we go. See? You see that? As I bring my mouse down to the bottom left, the application menu loads. So that's probably one thing I'm going to do nothing with, but I'm going to do this with the top left. So show applications menu. I come up to applications now. Here's the applications menu. Marvelous. Okay, what am I going to do with this release now? Oops, sorry about that. Right, so what am I going to do with this release now? Well, let's go back to our virtual machine. And we'll go full screen with this one now. Excellent, right. So, let's now look at this as the first install you get when you obviously fire up this for the first time. So this is Elementary OS 5.1.4, the main screen. So normally the AppCenter will straight away go and check if you've got any updates. I think I've already done that, but let me just check anyway. So the AppCenter now is going in the background and checking for updates. If you click on installed, by the way, you can see that everything is installed, but I've got no updates available to me at the moment. So we're all up to date, so it would seem. But the first thing that I am going to install here is where are we? I just spotted there's a time limit application here as well. Okay, let's have a look at Office. And you'll probably find that LibreOffice or some other free suite such as FreeOffice is not included in the repositories. Yeah, so far, okay, there's LibreOffice there, but that's not the main install. So what I'm going to do is open up Epiphany, which is the default browser. So in order to change the browser to something like Chrome, I'm just going to do a quick search for download Chrome. And obviously there are other browsers out there available. You can run Opera, you can't run Edge just yet. But you've got here Epiphany, which in a sense uses the Apple Safari technology. Right? But of course you've got Chrome, you've got Chromium, you've got Opera, Vivaldi, all the other standard browsers out there. For Firefox, yeah, there's another one we might want to look at. But if I download Chrome for desktop here, incidentally, you saw there that it went to DuckDuckGo as its default search engine. You can change that to either Google, Yahoo, or Bing if you like. Let's download Chrome. And we're going to download the deb file, as we're on a Debian Ubuntu based system here. That's going to download a 76 megabyte deb file. Excellent, that's done. I'm just going to open up the file location now. There we go. So we are now within the download section here, and I'm going to install this now via a terminal. So we'll just click anywhere within this window, and we'll do a right click and ask it to open in terminal. That now brings us into the terminal, and we're already loaded into the downloads area. Let me just bring this down here 1 second, because I need to see the exact file name for this Chrome deb file. So now I'm going to do a sudo, and I'm going to install a package. So therefore it's dpkg space, I'm going to install it, so it's a -i space, and now you do the name of the deb file. So Google -Chrome -stable _ current _ now, because I'm on an AMD based system, it's downloaded the AMD version. If you're on an Intel, then that would download the 8664, I can't remember what it says, deb version of that file. So I'm on an AMD 64 and it's .deb. So basically now that's saying, as a super user, I want to make a package up and install Google Chrome stable from this deb file here. Press enter, enter my password, and that's going to install version 81 of the Chrome browser. Okay, so we've got an error straight away. That's not a problem, don't worry. At this stage, Google has kind of 3/4 installed, so we just now need to correct one issue here. So I need to now do a sudo, and I'm going to basically now fix that broken installation. So --fix broken and space and 1- install. So I'm now going to say, as a super user, fix any broken installations that it finds within this terminal right now. My apologies. I think it's probably that I've put a dash in there. Oh, I know why. My apologies. I've forgotten the apt. You have to run it as an apt. So now give that a try. There we go. So now that's going to fix issues within the deb file that it found, and it was with some fonts. Okay. So now it's going to go and fix those, either by removing or replacing them. And right now, you can't really see that Google Chrome has installed correctly. So let's now see if it's in our Start menu or our Applications menu. So if I come up here again to Applications, oops, and you can see now that Chrome is installed. So if I just do a right click on that and add it to the dock, Chrome has now appeared as a shortcut within our dock. So now if I click on this, it should now load up Chrome. It's the first time install, so it's asking, do you want to make it your default browser? I'm going to say yes for now. Automatically send usage statistics and crash reports to Google. Sorry, I always say no to that. So, okay now. And here we have Chrome installed as a deb download and then installed through a terminal. One of the things you can't do is, because it's not in the actual Ubuntu repositories, is that you can't search for it within the AppCenter and download it from there. So in theory, what I could have done was just double click that deb file, and it would have looked for either gdebi as a package, or it would have tried and attempted to package that deb file together and install it via the AppCenter. In this case, no, you can't do, because it's Chrome. Anyway, let's just maximize this screen now. And the first thing I'm going to do is switch it off of GTK mode and put it into standard. So go to settings. This is the theme, by the way. As you can see, we've got these grey lines around the tabs. And we just scroll down and we just say under themes here to use classic. And you can see now that we're into Google's classic view. The next thing I'm going to do is click onto this arrow here. That loads up a new tab, takes us straight to the themes area. I'm going to scroll down until I can find one that says dark theme version 3. Click into that and add to Chrome. And now we're good. Just close that down. And this is how I'm going to keep my Chrome installation for now. I'm not going to sign into Chrome to give me any personalized bookmarks or history, etc. I'm just going to leave it as a straight Chrome install at the moment. But we've got Chrome on standby and we have set it as our default web browser. Let's close that down. Right, we don't need the terminal just now. So let's now take a look at the parental controls. So currently right now I'm logged in as myself on here and I am here as an administrator. So in order to set the parental controls, I need to create a new user account. So I need to go into System Settings, come down to User Accounts, and here you can see at the moment the guest session is disabled and there is only one working user account on here, which is myself, and I'm the system administrator. So I need to just unlock these features first of all, enter in my password because it's so locked down. It's fantastic. Right, now we are pretty much logged in now as a super user, so we can now set up new accounts and we can then set the permissions on applications and websites they can view. So let's create a new account. So we click on the plus icon here and we are setting up a standard user. If you look here, you've only got two user types, administrator and standard. So in this case, I'm going to set up a standard user. My test account will be Robin A. And I'm going to keep the username as Robin A. Give it a nice secure password. Yes, I know, but that's fine. And you can create the user. So now the user is created. That's fine. You can then log out and then you can log in as that new user now, and they'll only be a standard user. So any kind of administration controls that's required, then they should be prompted to enter administrator password. So let's go here now and give it a try. So before we do anything else, we need now to go back to our all settings. And it's here now that we need to go down to screen time and limits. Under screen time and limits, I'm going to now enable the Robin A account. Oh, I need to unlock the features first of all. It's very secure. And then click on to Robin A to enable that account. So now I have turn that account on, and I'm going to set some screen time and limits. So just click the person's name and you now see the extra features has loaded. So we can now set screen times. I'm going to disable these for now, but if you wanted to, weekdays and weekends, you can obviously set some timings around this one. Under internet, here you can now prevent websites from loading. So take for example, I wanted to hide bbc.co.uk. I wouldn't in normality, but if I did, it's a case of putting it in and just clicking add. If I wanted to block Google, I can do that. And if I want to block duckduckgo.com, you can do that. Think of another website. Let's think about, right, I'm going to be a bit naughty and say distrowatch.com. Add that. Okay, so take in mind now what the 4 websites that I have just disabled. So I'm going to disable anything from Google, DuckDuckGo, DistroWatch, and bbc.co.uk. One thing I haven't yet tried is this is just the domain level, the home page, the landing page. So we need to just now try to see if we can actually disable that across the whole of the domain, because I've got a bad feeling that when I get to bbc.co.uk, only the home page will be blocked and I won't be able to then access the home page, but I will be able to access any pages thereafter. So let's take a look now at applications. So here you can prevent any application from loading as well. So you can allow access to these apps with admin permission. So I'm going to put that on. Reason you would do that in normality is so you're saying, okay, if you want to launch this application, you're going to have to ask your parents' permission. So I'm going to now click this plus icon here to add a prevented app. The first thing I'm going to say is prevent this account from loading the AppCenter. My next one will be, I'm going to do a search for this, is Google. I'm going to say prevent Google from accessing the internet and also launching as an application. And another application I'm going to decide to block is camera, for example. So just those 3 applications in mind. Now we are done. But if you need to at any point change the permissions or remove it, you just highlight the application and you come down to minus here, and that will remove that application from those parental controls. Okay, so we are done. We're still logged in as my main administrator account, though we're not logged in as Robin A at the moment. So let's just do that now. We'll close down the settings here. So I'm going to stay logged in as myself, but I'm now going to log in as the Robin A account. So I'm logging out as myself and I'm now logging back in as Robin A. So here we have now the lock screen, the login screen. You can see the 2 accounts are now listed here. For some reason we've gone back to being 1024 by 768, so I've got a feeling I might need to reset the display driver settings again when I get logged in. So let's log in now to the Robin A account. Yep, and just as I thought, we're still at 1024 by 768, so we'll change that in a moment. So you shouldn't really get these issues when you are installing this on actual hardware. The only reason we're seeing this is because I'm running this in a virtual machine. We'll just say yes to all of those. Don't need to run Nightlight for now, but normally you would. Well, it's advisable to anyway. Let's do the temporary files and trashed files. And we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is come into the display settings and just click on the cogwheel, and we'll select the 1920 by 1080 resolution here and click apply. That then refreshes our page and we say keep this configuration. Nice. Okay, so that's done now. So we've now got our full screen. Now, think back to the applications I've blocked: Chrome, AppCenter, and Camera. So let's see what happens when I click AppCenter. Oh, it's loaded. You see? Yes, just as I thought. So it doesn't prevent it from loading, but I'm sure it'll prevent us from installing. Let's look under communication. Here we have all of the available apps. Let's say I want to install this chat app here, Empathy. So if I come across here and click into Empathy, got all the details here. It's a 14 megabyte file. I'll say, yeah, I want that. Click free. Oh, install the non-curated app. I think we're seeing this one because this is a Flatpak app, not a Snap app. Say that when you've had a few. And yeah, that's the reason why we're getting it. So you can tell the system by default to always show non-curated warnings. But I like to keep those there if you are running apps under a standard user. So I'm going to say install anyway. What we should get is authentication. So even though the AppCenter has now loaded, the standard user which you've set your permissions over cannot install any applications without an administrator being present. So that works. As far as that goes, from a parental control side of things, that works for me. Doesn't help the fact that I actually blocked the AppCenter and it still managed to load okay, but hey, there might just be some configurations within the AppCenter that needs to be changed there, or the elementary team haven't got round to that just yet. We might see that coming as a fix within version 6, but I don't know, we'll leave it down to them to fix that issue. If it is indeed an issue, it might just be deliberate. So we've blocked the camera app. Let's take a look. I click on applications. Here's the camera app. Click into camera. The camera launches. You can't see my camera right now because my camera is running within a virtual machine. But, oh, my camera is there. My camera is disabled. Let's just do it. Yeah, that's fine. So, to me, that's a fail because I was able to launch that camera app. Why? Good question. What else have I blocked? I blocked Chrome, didn't I? Okay, Chrome's launched. Why is Chrome launched? Good question. But I did block websites, bbc.co.uk, didn't I? Interesting. Okay. Let's just log out of this account. Yes. Let's log back in as me. Oops, mouse has gone a bit erratic here. Where's my mouse gone? Hello? There we go. Okay, so we're back in as me. So let's go back into the system settings. Screen time and limits. Robin A. Internet. Unlock. So why did these websites allow us to visit? Allow access to these apps with admin permissions. Right, let's try it without. And what else can we disable? Disable code. Okay. Right. Done? Yep. I'm going to just log out as me. Oops. Yes, I'm going to log out. And log in on the Robin A account. Ah, see, now it's remembered the resolution. Marvelous, right. So we've now logged back in as Robin A, and we blocked the application camera and we blocked the application code. Let's load up code now. You are not permitted to run this application. Administrator has restricted this on your system. Right, now then, let's see what else now has changed. Could be that you got to log in, log out, log in, log out in order for those permissions to work. So now let's try the AppCenter. No prompt just yet. The AppCenter has not loaded. Maybe that's automatically disabled. Fine, good. Next, Chrome. Where is Chrome? No results for Chrome. So Chrome has been hidden. Is camera in there? Camera. You're not permitted to run this application. So that is a pass. So remember, I flicked the switch at the bottom to say allow administrator to run these apps. So not sure. The applications themselves should have been able to have launched, but then given me a prompt to enter my username and password to be able to allow the application to launch in full. But I am intrigued to know why Chrome is missing. So, is Chrome installed? Let me just take a quick look at the terminal. And we'll just do... Let's see if I can launch Chrome Stable from here. Chrome Stable not found. Wonder why it's missing. Probably because there's parental controls on it. So let's log out of this account. And we go back into the other account, my account. And for some reason, my account has now given me back a 1024 by 768 screen resolution. So I'm just going to correct that one. Remember that I did the original change using xrandr command, so I didn't actually do it through the display setting, which might have not saved my setting. I'm just going to apply that. There we go. Keep the configuration. And we go back into screen time and limits. And for this account, applications, unlock, enter my password. Remembering that I disabled this allow access to these apps with an admin permission. So, not sure. But anyway, when you launch the parental controls, this is disabled by default. So it's down to you whether you enable it or not. Chrome is there, but obviously has been disabled. So let's see what other applications I want to disable. Let's see, shall we disable terminal? Yeah, let's disable the terminal. Okay, come back, close those down. This is my final test before I move on to the other features of this release here. So we log out. And then we log back in as the Robin A account. Incidentally, on this login screen, if you've got multiple accounts, it appears in a carousel form as you're seeing now. And if your mouse is a bit jumpy like mine was a bit earlier on, you can switch between accounts just by pressing the left and the right keys on your keyboard. Okay, so we're now logged back in as Robin A. So I've blocked the terminal. So let's see if I can get the terminal from within the applications window. No, terminal is missing. Not here under accessories. So it looks like, as an administrator, you only see, or you see a full view of all the applications that's installed on the system. If you are a standard user, then you probably don't need to run applications like terminal. Or, I'll give it a test in a minute. If I re-enable Google as an application that can be accessed here, then let's give that a try. So terminal is missing. Can I do a super T on my keyboard? No, didn't work. Can I search for terminal? No. So let's now give it a try. Let's now log out of this account. And we log back in as me. And we'll go back into system settings, screen time and limits, applications, that's me, sorry, the Robin A account, applications, unlock the feature, and I'm going to re-enable the terminal just by removing it from the restrictions list, and I'm going to remove Google Chrome. So at the moment we should only be seeing AppCenter, camera and code that are disabled or not there. That's done. Log out as me. And log back in as the other user. There we go. Is Chrome now in our list of applications under Internet? Yes, there we go. So under System Tools, I've now got the terminal back again. Yes. Sound and vision, camera is there. Can I launch the camera? No, you're not permitted to run the application. So parental controls. A thumbs up from me. It's now working. So If you've got any questions around that one, then feel free to obviously have a look around the elementary website and contact the elementary team, and I'm sure they'll be glad to help you out there. At the moment, it's a complete thumbs up from me in terms of that functionality working, so well done to the elementary team, and I hope that some of you out there will be able to benefit and make full view of full effect of that app, of those features there. Right, so moving on, we've done parental controls, so let's just now quickly take a look at the AppCenter now. Let's first of all log out of the test account and log back in as me. Okay, so we're back in elementary now, logged in as me as an administrator. Right, so AppCenter. So to quote what the elementary team said here, in this release, a major update to the AppCenter with performance improvements, extension improvements, keyboard navigation improvements, and a number of fixes. Performance-wise, the AppCenter will now only check for updates at device startup, or log in once daily. This will then ensure that users are still getting their updates in a timely manner, but AppCenter will be much lighter on CPU and memory usage when logging in multiple times during the day. As always, AppCenter will still fetch the latest updates when opening the app. We also reduced slowdowns when opening apps that require AppCenter to fetch extra data. We've cleaned up extensions in the AppCenter. First, to declutter the updates view, extensions are only shown when they require an update. And then lastly, they've swapped out the main and overlay icons for extensions to clearly associate extensions with their app. So there are some keyboard commands in here where you can do a Control F, for example. So let's now load up the AppCenter. Let's go full screen on this one. So if we look under installed, these are all the applications that are currently installed here. But things like multitasking and window management and Granite, for example, these are extensions and they're in here by default. But an extension generally is shown with a square icon with a cog in it. So I'm right down the bottom of the list here and I don't see anything else. Right, so let's see if I can get an extension to load. So if I try now, bringing up a terminal, and I'm going to install the tweak tool. Sudo apt install. Oh, I just realized I need to get some extra commands to be able to enable that, so I won't do that then. No, I won't do that. Okay. So checking for updates. Did you notice how much quicker the AppCenter was to load there? So it's already done its initial check. This icon seems to have stalled here, which shows that it should be checking for updates, but has stopped. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's have a look. Is time shift on here? Time shift? No. Okay. No shortwave. I'm sure Discord is on here. No? Okay, fine. So these are all flat packs. So, is it looking for snaps? It should be. I'm just going to check if snapd is installed. So sudo apt install snapd into my password. No, it's not installed. Okay, fine. So we're installing snapd now. In a moment, we will take a look at the changes which they've implemented within the system settings. Okay, so snapd is installed now. So the first thing that I'm going to install is Discord. So sudo snap install Discord. And when you first install Snap, by the way, on any distribution, it does take a while to load or launch and install the first app because it's got no cache. Here we go. I'm just going to close down the AppCenter for now. Okay, that's done. So I'm going to now install Opera as a secondary browser. This should be much quicker now. Now, browsers such as Opera, Vivaldi, Edge, Chromium, there's a few others out there, but not Firefox. They are generally Chromium based, which means it's got Google technology behind it, or the open source version of the Chrome browser, basically. Okay, so that's Opera installed. And now if I go into the applications menu here, I should see Opera, but it's not there because I need to log out and log in again. So if you find you've just installed a Snap and it's not available to you, you just log out and then log in again. Or restart. It's taken a while now because it's refreshing. Remember, we did some updates. We've also installed Snap and we've installed 2 Snap apps. So therefore now it's just getting itself back to normality. There we go. So now after that initial log out and log in again, and it's done a first refresh on login, we should now see our missing applications now in the apps menu. If my mouse wakes up, give it a moment. Looks like our virtual machine has gone AWOL. see, can I do any control delete command? Okay. Let me just give it a full restart. If my mouse will allow. Well, at least I hope that will work. Hello? It wouldn't normally do this on actual hardware. Let me tell it to restart. Whoa. Okay, I'm going to shut the VM down. Wow, this is crazy. Okay, let's see if I can get the terminal open. Alright. Let's see if I can do a reboot this way. Right, let's see where this goes now. Now, if this does not start, then we know the virtual machine has now broken. Oh, yeah, we got something now. Did you notice a quick glimpse of the E logo? There we go. Right, so let's just try logging in again. How's my mouse doing now? That's more like it. Okay, so we must have run out of system resources there. Okay, so let's just take a quick look now at the final feature I wanted to run through here. Let's take a look at the system settings, which of course the team have said now has had a complete redesign. With significant improvements. Drawing from the excellent search in the applications menu, system settings now supports deep searching for individual settings and clearly shows the path to get to each one. So let's give that a try. So if I load up the applications window and I do a search for Chrome, you can now see that under applications we've got the Chrome install, but it also allows us to search for Chrome within the AppCenter. So let's just try that. Chrome has come through as a search, but obviously Chrome is not offered as an application, so therefore no results. Let's do a search for terminal. Terminal is there. But if you look, as I am slowly typing the name of the app, can you see now we've got arrows appearing in terms of a user journey? So think of it like a crumb trail view. So in order to get to applications that contain the term, I can also do a search for it in the AppCenter, or I can look for it or see an application called time format, and as you can see, TERM M is there. So that's the reason why they've returned results. You've also got security and privacy housekeeping, number of days to keep trashed and temporary files. Again, T, E, R, and M. That's the reason why. So, but terminal is being offered to me as an application, so I can click onto that. And here I have my terminal. Now it's remembered, actually, looking at this, the tabs that I had open. So by default, it's coming to the last tab that I had open, which was downloads. So if I close that down now, and I'll close down home, that will now close down terminal altogether. So the next time I load up terminal, it's completely clear and brings me to my home default. So let's close that down for a moment. So let's have a look again at the system settings. So if we now clearly shows the path, yes, so we've already just shown you that. They've also pushed out updates to the system settings panes this month. For the desktop settings, we now illustrate dock icon sizes. So let's just give you a quick recap on that one there. So again, you can go into system settings, and you can change it from the desktop view and go into dock and change the size of the dock icons here. So that's one change there. What else have they done? So display settings, they've fixed 1 pixel gaps that could show between displays. So that's going to be for the dual screen users. So that's pretty much it from this walkthrough here. I'm quite excited by this release, and yeah, I'm going to leave it on my machine for a bit. So if you've got any questions, feel free to give us a shout. It's at RobinJust on Twitter, or you can get hold of me via my website at digitalrobin.net. Again, you can follow me on Twitter, watch me join the gang on Big Daddy Linux Live each and every week on their podcast there. Failing that, have yourselves a great time, the rest of the day, what's left of it. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you again in a video in the near future. So take care, thanks a lot, and I'll speak to you soon.